I'm Vinny Politan. Thanks so much for joining us. And we begin this hour with a brand new segment that we are premiering tonight, the Unsolved Case File. Every night, 9 o'clock, we'll be taking a look at a case that has remained unsolved, putting out some clues, shining a light on it, so hopefully it will lead to something for investigators. And tonight's story is one you may be familiar with. It's out of Indiana. Back in 2017, two young teenagers named Libby and Abby were murdered near the Monon High Bridge in Indiana. It's a case that has some real clues, real suspects, images from a cell phone, but still today remains unsolved. Our great affiliate, WRTV in Indianapolis, has more for us tonight.
We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here.
Carrie Timmons did not need to say a word for the world to be reminded of the deep loss being felt by the families of Libby German and Abby Williams. Raw emotions as new details became public more than 2 years after the girls were killed.
The courage of Libby German to use her cell phone to record this man on the old Monon High Bridge is credited with giving police one of the best tips in the ongoing investigation. Libby and her good friend Abby Williams were on the historic trail on February 13, 2017, before they were found dead a day later. The video and sketch of the suspect have circulated around the world.
State police also shared a bit more of the audio from that video. In the past, we've heard the three words, "down the hill." Now listen closely to the new release.
Downhill, guys. Downhill, guys. Downhill.
As the day comes, I just feel more hopeful that we'll get to an arrest and that in the end we'll get a conclusion, no matter how long that's going to take.
Now technology from the app known as Crime Door is using Libby's video and public documents to put you on that bridge.
Detail and accuracy are our most important. And so in the case of a augmented reality experience, we won't make it unless we have photos of the location in detail.
On the left, Libby's video. On the right, the recreation of the historic landmark through augmented reality. The virtual video lets you get a 3D view of the area. The app's creators are hoping the visual experience will jog someone's memory and lead to that missing tip.
And actually for the first time, and this is the key word, understand a case. And by being able to be there, go essentially through a time machine, you can understand something. And so we think the community is going to really rally around this.
The site also includes news stories from WRTV and other organizations documenting this ongoing case.
This is potentially a technology that can be leveraged by law enforcement.
Cold case detective Paul Holes played a key role in finding the Golden State Killer, who had evaded police for 4 decades. He believes augmented reality is another helpful tool for the public and police.
Demonstrating, this railroad bridge where this offender met up with Libby and Abby. That's going to either tickle an investigator's brain about maybe there's a different approach to try to identify this guy.
The guy that police want to find. The guy that for 4 years has sparked global interest.
All right, if you have any information, please call the Delphi Homicide Tip Line. This is a tip line just for this case, 844-459-5786. They also have an email address, if you'd rather do that, Abby and Libby Tip at CACOSHRF.com. All right, today, the Indiana State Police released a statement as we get closer to the 4-year anniversary of this horrific crime. Here's what they said in their statement today. On February 13th, 2017, Abigail Williams and Liberty German went missing while walking on a trail near the Monon High Bridge in the town of Delphi, Indiana. On February 14th, 2017, their bodies were discovered. The Carroll County Sheriff Department, assisted by the Indiana State Police, Delphi Police Department, and other law enforcement agencies, continue to work diligently to bring this case to a close. And that means it is still unsolved tonight. Joining me, retired crime lab director for the San Diego Police Department, Jennifer Shen, is with us tonight. Jennifer, great to see you.
Hi.
First question I have for you, are you surprised? Here we are getting close to 4 years with some of the clues that have been made public that this case is still unsolved.
I really am surprised. When I study this case, it's just so rare that you actually have video of the suspect, not only video, but also voice. And, the video isn't really clear, but it's clear enough that you could recognize maybe the clothing, the mannerisms, the walk. And there's just like you would get a feeling for that person if you knew them. So it's really surprising to me that they don't know who this is.
All right, Jennifer, let's start with the scene and where all this took place. And she was dropped off, the two girls were dropped off, again, ages 14 and 13, at the Delphi Historic Trails near Monon High Bridge. This is 1 o'clock on February 13th, 2017. Let's take a look at that image if we could. This is where they are dropped off in Delphi, and then they are found half a mile away east of the bridge, about 50 feet from Deer Creek. This is a wooded area. It's close to the water, but not in the water. Trees, leaves, everything you would expect to find, and I'm sure tons of wildlife as well. Start here, half a mile from that bridge. How do you think they could have gotten from the Monon High Bridge to where their remains were found?
Well, they likely walked, and it sounds like just from the video that we have of the suspect that that's what they did. And it's really interesting to me because a crime scene like that, with you don't fly into crime scenes usually. There you have to get in, you have to get out. So there's so much evidence that could be available at a crime scene like that, to include tire tracks, shoe prints, bike tracks, the tracks of the girls. They should be able to identify how they got in and how how whoever got in there and did this got into that scene as well.
Let me ask you, Jennifer, because we see the image of the man walking. That is the suspect, right? We know that they were on the bridge at the same time because that's when they took the video. We know where the two girls ended up. Are you trying to track the path that was taken? Is that part of the crime scene investigation here?
Absolutely, because the crime scene is not just where the bodies were found, but it's all the points of entering into the crime scene and the points exiting the crime scene of the suspect, him or herself. So you're looking to find how the girls got there, because all along the path of their entry into that crime scene, there could be clues. There could be something that was dropped. There could be, again, shoe prints, tire tracks. There could be dropped cigarette butts. There could be blood. There could be anything along the path going into and out of that scene. So it would be really important to figure out how they got from the bridge to where their bodies were found.
The timing here, it's less than 24 hours from the time they were dropped off at the bridge to when their remains were discovered. Tell me how that impacts the scene and what evidence you would expect to find where these two young girls were found.
Well, interestingly, 24 hours isn't that long. And because there wasn't any significant weather event, I understand it was very cold, but there wasn't a significant weather event. And that is not that long for the wildlife to find the bodies. So there should be a lot of evidence. There should be evidence on the bodies themselves in the surrounding area. And it was wooded and kind of a little more protected from the elements. So you would expect that there would be a lot of evidence